Welcome all. Welcome all for this data science demo. So let us first set the agenda of this demo and then we will move forward. So the agenda is this. So first we will start with introduction. Then we will understand the importance of data science in GenAI, the data science life cycle, and what are the advantages we have when we try to integrate data science with GenAI. What kind of benefits we can get it. The challenges and consideration, then the opportunities. I believe all of you are experienced people, but still we will see what are the opportunities and the different job roles you can apply for, and the conclusion and couple of bonuses. And after that, I will show you a small demo that how I have integrated within 45 minutes. I created a tool within 45 minutes using ChatGPT's help, which helps me in doing my data science job bit faster when compared to not using GenAI. Okay, that would be the entire flow. So let us start with the first part, introduction to data science and GenAI. So first, let me talk about what is data science. So data science is a data-driven insight using technical like statistics, machine learning, and AI. What exactly it means? It's very bookish definition. Let us understand a bit more about it. So when we say data science is a data-driven insight using techniques like statistics, so being a data scientist, your job is to play with the numbers. You play with the numbers. You do the number crunching. When I say play with the numbers, you do a number crunching. And while doing that number crunching, to when you do the number crunching, you try to understand the data, that hidden information that particular data has, etc. And for that thing, we use a statistical approaches to understand the data, its hidden information, etc. With that, we use couple of machine learning and AI techniques also for a prediction purpose. So one of the machine learning algorithms or GenAI algorithms and the easy algorithms is a linear regression. So we use it for doing the predictions or the random forest or XGBoost for that case. For any other algorithm, we can use it for the prediction purpose. But there is one question that is a machine learning and a data science is the same? My answer is no, both are not same. Data science altogether is a different universe where you use mathematics knowledge, mathematics, a lot of mathematics to understand the data. But on the other hand, this machine learning is a subset of AI. So we have AI, which is a universe. In that, you have machine learning subset. And in this machine learning subset, you have all the other things, the deep neural networks, and then neural networks, deep neural networks, and other things. It's a part of machine learning. And now, using this Venn diagram, at least I can understand one part that the AI and a data science have some intersection. It means some techniques which we use in a data science we do use in machine learning, and some techniques in machine learning, such as algorithms, different algorithms we use in data science to ease our work. So in a nutshell, AI and a data science is not same, and machine learning is a subset of AI. So far it's clear. Kiran says fresher. Okay, great. Just give me thumbs up if it's clear or any question you can ask me. Okay, as I did not get any question, I believe. Thank you, Saikit. So let me move forward. Thank you, Kiran. The next part is what is GenAI? GenAI is Gen means you're talking about the generative AI. So we use this generative artificial intelligence to generate something. What we try to generate? Text. The famous is the ChatGPT. Now we have a DeepSeek, Gork also. The images, the stable diffusion, and other thing, and a code. For a code, we have a GitHub Copilot. Copilot. Even in the ChatGPT, you can generate a code, but the Copilot is very much optimized on the code generation. As it is generating something, we say it is a generative. And as we are using artificial intelligence to generate the things, we say Gen AI or a generative AI. Okay, there's a difference between, or that's an introduction about the data science and a generative AI. Now, the next question lies that why, or let me say, why to integrate both of them? I said we have a data science techniques. Suppose in your data science project you have to do A, B, C, D. These are the steps you have to do. Suppose now these steps you have to do it manually. You have to code for A, you have to code for B, C, and D. But if you use the Gen AI, and if we have the competency enough to get the required information from Gen AI, then this thing I can ask the Gen AI to generate. This thing I can Gen AI to do it. It means I'm coding it, so Gen AI will generate me the code. This it will generate me the code. Now tell me which one is easier? You writing the code or asking Gen AI to do it? Which one is faster? Obviously the Gen AI, right? We have seen we give our entire book to summarize, and it does summarize in couple of minutes, if not in seconds, based on the book size. It does in couple of minutes. But if the book is given to human, it takes a lot of time to summarize it, right or not? So Gen AI is easing our work. It make our work easy. So if we have something which might make our work easy, then why can't use that in our work to do the delivery faster than ever? But the question lies, the next question lies, how to integrate? That we will see how to integrate. But let us first see why to integrate. Here, I think diagrammatically we understand that it helps us to deliver faster and it reduces our effort. Okay. And apart from that thing, it enhances the decision making with better data insights. So when you ask a GenAI, as data scientists do the number crunching, there might be a possibility that you have missed a couple of important points while doing the number crunching. But when you ask the GenAI to do it, the chances of missing the important information reduces. In that way, your decision making, it enhances your decision making. Second is automatic reported process. So you are doing ABC, you are asking GenAI to do it. You are automating the process. And the next one is the addressing challenges like missing data or report generation. So, as some of you have a technical experience, we understand when we extract a report, there are good amount of chances that report or the raw report, let me say raw data, instead of saying a report, let me say raw data. Raw data has some problems. Even in service now, you can generate, extract the raw data. Let me say I'm generating the last 1 year, 1 year cases, and in that also there might be possibility that the data is not correct, 100% correct. There might be 1% anomaly in the data. There is a possibility, and a couple of anomalies is missing the data missing. There might be any reason. Generally, it does not happen, but there is a possibility. If you have a missing data, when you have missing data, suppose you have a data here, you have a couple of missing data, then you have a data. If you are using this data to create any insight about this data, it is not possible. Either you have to ignore this missing data, okay, and then consider only the data where we have a field, where we have a data. You have to do that one, or you have to include this one. And when you include this missing data, you will not get the expected output. There would be a the different anomalies in the output. So somehow we have to handle this missing data. So we have a techniques in data science where we handle this missing data, but first you have to analyze the data, then see what kind of imputation you have to do, means which technique you have to use to replace this missing data with the value that you have to check, and etc. You have to do that analysis, but you simply pass this particular task to GenAI, it does it for you. If you're doing it manually, you might take 30 minutes or half an hour based on your expertise and based on the data distribution, etc. But the GenAI takes care of it in couple of, if not seconds, at least in minutes, which is way faster than. So these are a couple of reasons I say, and these are not the exhaustive reasons, but these are the, as per my understanding, is the top reasons that we can integrate the GenAI with data science. So far clear? Give me thumbs up. Any questions? Please go ahead and ask. Kiran, Kalyan, yes, Saiket, thank you for thumbs up, Saiket. Okay, let us now move forward and let us see the data science life cycle. How data science projects are, uh, how the data science projects are executed, what are the different steps it has. So the first step is a problem definition, which we can also say it as a business understanding. Okay, both are same. But the question lies why it's important. Why it's important. Okay, let us take an example now. I'm saying that I would like to, I would like to cook a dish. Okay, I would like to cook a dish. But to cook a dish, you need to know that what are the ingredients, okay, and what is the cooking method, okay, the temperature you have to cook a particular dish, etc. You need to have this information, and this is nothing but the knowledge you have to acquire about that particular dish. Yes or no? If you don't know these things, you can't cook a dish. Now let us use this analogy in our business and let us understand even further that how this information about a business will help us to deliver our project successfully. Now suppose I am I'm your client. I just walked up to you and I just told you that now my servers, I'm getting a lot of P1 and P2 tickets. So for freshers, the P1 and P2 tickets means the priority one and priority two tickets. Priority one is the most important, which needs to be addressed as soon as possible. If you don't do it, then it will impact the entire business. The same with the P2 also. But the P2 has a one level less urgent than the P1. Okay. So now I'm saying I'm getting a lot of P1 and P2 tickets. I'm getting a lot of P1 and P2 tickets. Now I approached you saying that these are the issues I'm facing. P1, P2 tickets are huge. I would like you to help me to solve this problem. And I would like to use the machine learning to solve this problem. So I approached you people saying so. So now, after telling this thing, what will you do? Kalyan, Kiran, Nagendra, Sakit, and Sayed. You directly extract the data and do it? Or do you do something else? Anyone would like to try? If you don't want to try, you can type N. That's fine. I will go ahead and explain it. So Kalyan says analyze the data. Very good, analyze the data. But Kalyan, when I say the P1, P2 tickets, what kind of P1, P2 tickets? The P1, P2 tickets might be something else. When I say something else, it might be related to servers, it might be related to some functionality, anything. So
So
the
you can classify the tickets, right? So you can understand, like, okay, what from where are we getting these, for which items are we getting these
correct.
tickets, right?
So you will try to understand the problem and you would like to go even deeper, deep dive into the problem, right?
Right.
What exactly the problem is, what is the root cause of the problem. So you try to go till at least not the root cause. If you would like to do a certain level of analysis to understand the problem better. Because being a client, I give you a very general statement. I'm getting a huge P1 P2 tickets. Solve it. Give me machine learning model. But but our job is to understand this problem further. So you do a further analysis of the job. And if you don't do the analysis of the job, you simply say it's P1, P2, let me go ahead and extract the data and build my machine learning model. This will fail or tend to fail. The reason is you don't have a clarity on the problem, then what solution you are going to provide, right? That's why the business understanding of the problem definition is very important. That's why this is the first thing you have to do in your data science project, and same thing you can apply in your machine learning projects also. Now I understood that XYZ servers. So suppose I have total 100 servers, the client has 100 servers, out of which you identify the 20 servers for which you are getting a P1 and P2. This is your analysis. So now, if you don't did this analysis, you will try to extract the information for all the 100 servers, which is of no use. But after doing the analysis, now you understood your data sources, the precise data sources. Yes or no? Now you know your precise data sources. What can you do now? Now you can extract your data from those precise data sources. Now you extract the data from your sources. Now what will be the next step? I got a data, raw data. Next thing is you massage the data. You clean the data. You try to look if we have any data anomaly. Then you remove it. You extract those things out of the data. So you refine the data. So that's what you do it in a data processing. Now I did refine the data. I removed all the anomalies, all the bad data from the data. Now you left with the good data. When I say good data, the definition do change from the use case to use case. For this case, I say the good data is I have the proper server logs without without any missing values or etc. Okay, I have a good data. Now I have a good data. Next thing is doing the data understanding. So till now I did not understand the data. I extracted the data, I cleaned the data. Now I will start understanding the data. What understanding you have to make? I have to understand the distribution. I have to understand the distribution. I have to understand the outliers. I have to understand the if we have what kind of columns each what let me put it in this way, what does each column represents, what is the meaning of each column, etc. You will try to understand, and when you understood that thing, then you can do the feature engineering. Why I'm saying understanding the data is important, and then you do the feature engineering. Okay, let me tell you. Now suppose you have height and a width. Okay, one example. Now if you don't understand what exactly height, what exactly in weight, and if you don't have a business understanding, then you don't understand that instead of taking height and a weight as a separate column, I can combine both things as a BMI. One example. Second example. Now suppose you have a area of an apartment. Okay, price. Okay, let me instead of area, suppose you have a length of an apartment, breadth of an apartment, and one more column called price. We understand the length and breadth is useful, but if we combine both and make it as an area, which is a L into B, that is even more useful, right? So you will able to understand that I have to do this thing. First thing, when you understand the business understanding very well. Second thing, when you have analyzed the data very well. So that's the reason data understanding is important. And this thing, which where I did convert the height and the weight into BMI and the length and the breadth of a apartment or for that case for a house into area, is called a feature engineering. And the feature engineering technique here we have used is called derived feature. Okay. So this is one of the techniques where you have used combined two different columns and created a new feature. And when you do that, this is called derived feature. So far it's clear. Give me thumbs up if it's clear. If not, you can go ahead and ask the question. Thank you, Saiked. Others? Thank you, Kira. Now I did my feature engineering. Well and good. And why the question lies, why to do feature engineering? The one reason is if you have a categorical data, which might be A, B, C, male, female, etc. That kind of data you can't pass it to a algorithm. Algorithm expects all the data as numerical values. Okay, either zero ones. Zero one is a boolean, but still it's zero and one. You can consider as a numerical. It's a numerical. Then for so you have different columns, which is not numerical. It expects everything to be converted into the numerical form. That's why it's mandated to do a feature engineering. Plus, if you have a data where your data ranges from 0 to 500, The range is very big. So for this kind of situation, you scale it down between 0 to 1 or minus 1 to 1. So we use a different technique to do it. For this thing, we use a min-max scaler. For this thing, you use standardization technique. So that we do it. After that, you go to the model building and evaluation. Let us understand what is model building. Now you have your data. Now you have to feed this data into different algorithms. Suppose you are doing the classification problem where you try to classify something into, for example, you have input regarding the cats and a dog. I'm opening a whiteboard so I can tell you. Now, suppose you would like to identify whether something input image is a cat or a dog. This is category data. Now, suppose you are it's not this is a classification problem. Now, you would like to take care of this classification problem. It means you have used only the algorithm which supports the classification, such as logistic regression, logic, SVM, random forest, decision tree, boosting algorithms. Okay, so we have ADA boost, gradient boosting. Okay, XGBoost, those algorithms, or any other algorithm which supports the classification problem. So we have to use those algorithms. Now I pass it to logic, my data. It gives me some accuracy. Let me say it gave me 92% accuracy. The second one, SVM, gave me 90% accuracy. Random forest gave me 95% accuracy. And in that case, all my algorithms will give me some accuracy. Now, this random forest gave you 95% accuracy, well and good. But you have to check whether this 95% accuracy is just by a fluke or it is really the model is really good enough to say that it's a 95% accurate. So we have to validate. Best example, in a layman term, if you go to a vegetable shop, when you're buying a vegetable or vegetables, what you do? We try to, before buying, we check each and every vegetable we buy, right? You go to the vegetable shop, if you're taking the tomatoes, you check it whether it's faulty or not, etc. You're not directly going and purchasing it, you're checking it and then you're buying it. Same way for the machine learning, after doing the training, you blindly can't go and say it's a 95%, I will deploy it. No, you have to validate it. And that validation part is nothing but the evaluation, or you're evaluating your model. In the machine learning, whatever it is, suppose you have 100 data points, for example, you generally divide these 100 data points into two parts. One is a train, second is a test. The train part, or the subset of this 100 data points which is a train, you use it for training purpose. That's why we say it's a train data set. And now training, after training, suppose you got 95%. So train give you 95%. Now you try to do the prediction on the test data set. So this, after training, you got a 95%, means you got a model as an output. And now this model you use for to predicting the test data set. Right? Even this test gave very close to this 95%. Now it's giving a 93%. Okay, here you have a 95% on a train, and on a test it's a 92%. Yeah, there is a 2% difference. So now you can say that yes, my model is good enough, because on a seen data, on the data on which it got trained, it is giving me 95%, and for the unseen data it is giving me 93%. So I say, okay, that's fine, my model is performing good, the evaluation is successful. Now I will take that random forest as my final model to be deployed in production. So far it's clear, the model training and the evaluation. Now let us go back to other PPT. Now we are done with the model building and evaluation. Now you have built it, you know it, you build it, but end user needs to consume it. And for that thing, you do the deployment. After you do the deployment, you did the deployment very good. Now, a data science project, a machine learning project, how you do it? You take an input, You pass it through your model. Let me say I'm saying M, and you give the output, a simple output. And this output might be, suppose you are saying it as a yes or a no. This is your output, suppose. But end users, if you pass these values as yes or no to the end user, they don't understand, right? Because they are not technical people. And though they are technical people, they don't know why you are sending yes or no for something. What it signifies, they don't know. So we have to communicate the result. It means you have to prepare a proper dashboard or visualization or something which gives or which makes end user to understand the output easily. So that's why this step is required. And now that is done, the next step comes the monitoring part. Why the monitoring is required? Now, if you see the example, in 2008-10, the smartphones I think came nearly 2009 or 10, where the Samsung Corby was got very famous. Gradually, new phones started coming in. At the time, I think the 2 megapixel was the best camera we could able to have it, right? But since then we have improved a lot in terms of that technology. And when we improved in the technology, it means the buying behavior of the customer changed. Okay, his expectation changed, his consumption pattern changed, everything changed. Yes or no? So here we as a people are evolving every day. So when a person is evolving, so even the data corresponding to the person or that customer group will definitely evolve. It means the patterns will change, which means when the pattern is changed, it means the distribution might change completely. Now, when 2009 10, people were very uh, scared of buying iPhones. Why? Because it was costlier. But now, people are, if they are not able to churn that much money, but still they are able to afford an iPhone. The reason is the pattern changed, the spending pattern changed, the customer sentiment changed, etc. So, if everything is evolving, then even our machine learning model should also evolve. Reason is because you trained your model on certain distribution couple of years ago, but now the distribution, the pattern changed. It means the model you are using will not be the apt for that particular kind of data. So for that thing, we do the continuous monitoring to understand if the data pattern is changing or not. When it's changing or when it changed, we make sure to revisit the problem statement. Then again, we do the data collection because now the pattern changed. So we do the data collection again, then we do the data pre-processing, data understanding, and this cycle goes on. Clear the data science life cycle? If yes, just give me thumbs up. If no, please go ahead and ask the question. Thank you, Saket. Others? Thank you, Kiran. And what about Kalyan, Kiran, Mohammed, Nagendra, Sayyed? Is it clear? Any doubt you have, please go ahead and ask. Great. So that's what the data science life cycle is. Now the question is how data science and GenAI integrate or how to do. Thank you, Kalyan. How to integrate. So initially we have seen the uh, what is data science, what is GenAI. We have seen why to integrate, and then we have understood the data science life cycle. Now let us see how to integrate. So the first point is we have to integrate to generate a synthetic data, okay, which means handling the missing values, augment imbalance data. So in a data, if let me say the service now example where you get a P1 and a P2. Now your requirement is to build a model where you identify whether a particular deployment will need the P1 or P2 or not. That's your requirement. Now this P1 and P2, the count of this P1 and P2 will be very low, right? Out of 100 tickets, you might get one P1 or P2. And that should be ideally the situation also. If you're getting more than that, it means your system is not stable somehow. So here the P1 and P2 is countless. And when you extract the data, suppose you are extracting the last 10 years data and you hardly got out of 100,000 tickets, you hardly got 100 P1 P2 tickets. So it means the remaining 99,900 are P3 or P4 tickets, which is not important ones. But you are saying to identify whether a particular deployment will lead to P1 or P2 or not. In this case, you see the data is imbalanced where P1 and P2 count is very less, but P3 and P4 count is very high. In a machine learning, if you feed this data where the data is imbalanced, it tend to favor the majority class. What is a majority class? In this situation, the P3 and a P4 is a majority class because it's dominating the entire data. The minority class is P1 and P2. So you have to balance the both, and to balance it, you can't get a data with the P1 P2 data because you have extracted last 10 years. So somehow you have to generate the data, and that data is called nothing but the synthetic data. And GenAI helps us to generate the synthetic data. You have a data science techniques also, you can use it, but the GenAI helps us to do the faster compared to the manual approach. The second is automatic reporting. The reporting part, you can ask GenAI, pass a prompt, then do these things, it will generate a report for you. If not report, at least the code based on your requirement. The next is enhanced predictive models. So improving prediction with GenAI data. What exactly it means? It means that now you can use GenAI to create some synthetic data, which you can use it in a model. Suppose you have only 100 data points, and that is not enough to train a model. You ask GenAI to create more 99,000 data points, which is a synthetic data points. Now you can use this 99,000 plus this 100 to create your model, train your model. And next is augmented visualization, which is building dynamic and AI driven dashboards. Clear so far? The next thing is the benefits. The benefits more or less remains the same where you have good efficiency means if you are able to deliver a work which you used to deliver in 1 hour and now you're delivering in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Did it increase your efficiency or not? Yes, it did. And when you are able to deliver faster than the others, you will stand out. So that will help you to grow your grow in your career faster. Because nowadays all the companies expect their developer to deliver faster, and that's why the AI agile is introduced a couple of years back because the agile main motto is to deliver faster. And now when you're combining this GenAI, even when you're combining GenAI, the data science, you're delivering even faster. So that is improving your efficiency. And when you're able to deliver something in 5 minutes, which you used to do in one hour, now you have a good you have nearly 55 minutes in your hand. What you can do? You can think out of the box, and which will help you to do some innovations or create out of the box ideas. Okay, this will help you in your personal growth. Efficiency also will help you in professional growth. Innovation will help you in professional growth, personal growth. When I say personal growth, but suppose you got an idea which is not belongs to. Okay, I will answer your question in just 2 minutes. So when you suppose you got an idea which is not relevant to your professional, but it is some idea which might change the society. And when you have an idea, you can go ahead and implement it. And this idea you got it when you have combined your GenAI with data science for a faster development and faster delivery. And next is the scalability. So generate generative large-scale data and insights quickly for diverse business needs. The same thing, you feed the data, it gives you the output, if not in seconds, at least in minutes, which being a human, which might take a couple of hours or a days also. So scalability is easy. Now let me take this Muhammad's question. He says how AI can support in faster delivery of application and code or websites. Okay, great. Now suppose you have a functionality where I'm saying the build a website and XYZ should be the functionalities. Okay, you simply pass a prompt to GenAI models and say, this is my website, this should look in this way, blah blah blah, and these are the functionalities. It will generate a code for you. You can use that code in your project. Yeah, you have to, sometimes we have to tweak it a bit so it can cater our requirements, but to generate that code also you might require an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, 3 hours, which GenAI will deliver in couple of seconds. So it, suppose it has delivered the code in 3 to 10 seconds, if let me say in 1 minute. Now you take the code, you do some tweaking, okay, which the tweaking, suppose you have taken 60 minutes. So now in the 61 minutes, you could able to develop that piece of code. But if you're not using a GenAI, then you have to write each and every functionality by your own. And this might take 1 day or 1.5 day or 2 days based on the expertise a particular person has. Okay. So that was Mohammed. So Mohammed has second question: how it will help experienced IT professional to change AI? What skills it required and what can of improvement and time it need? Okay, please you can answer this at the end of the session. Don't disrupt the session. Can you prove Gen AI capability in mathematics and subject? Yeah, I will answer all those questions, Mohammed, okay, at the end of the session. But yeah, so the next question lies is the learning curve. So what are the things, different things you have to learn so you can start in data science, and what are the different skills you have to learn to use the GenAI? Okay, not at the basic level, but at least at an intermediate level. So to learn the data science, first you require in terms of programming language either Python or R experience, or you have to learn those things. One of those things. The Python is very popular than the R. Okay, and this in this course we will go with the Python because it's very popular. Second is you need to have bit of statistical knowledge. You need not to be expert, but a basic understanding of statistics is good to start your career. Okay, then some understanding of the data visualization. So Power BI or a Tableau, a basic understanding that if I am asking you to create a visualization, giving you data and saying create a report, if you're able to create the report, that's more than enough. Okay, that is for a data science. Then what about the GenAI? So you need to have a AI ML knowledge, the machine learning knowledge. The familiarity with GPT models, GAN models, its architecture to lay down your to have your foundation, strong foundation architecture of these LLM models, and then some experience on this library, PyTorch, Hugging Face, TensorFlows, etc. So if we could able to fill these things, now you can say you have the required ammunition kickstart your journey in data science, integrating it with a GenAI. Okay. Now the next question is the ethical challenges and consideration. Okay. Sorry. So the first challenge you could see is it is a resource intensive. What is resource intensive? GenAI. We would have heard that OpenAI have spent billions of dollars to train its model. Yes or no? The reason is it needs huge data and the processing it requires is very huge. So people like you and me can't train a generative AI model from scratch. In most of the organization, wherever you see people are using these generative AI models into their project, they are not training it from scratch. They are either using as is or they are using the transfer learning, means They're using its existing knowledge and customizing it to cater their requirement. Okay. So as it's a resource intensive, we can't do it from the scratch. We have to use some of the other pre-trained models. The second is lack of understanding of GenAI techniques among professionals. So what it means, on a high level, we know GenAI such as ChatGPT, we pass the prompt, etc. Very good, but do we know that what effective prompt we have to pass to so I get the effective output? Some people know, and most of the people does not know. That's the challenge. The next one is very important, which is the data privacy and security concerns. In this case, whatever data you are sending to this GenAI models, it uses that information to train themselves. It means it's capturing, holding that information, and that information can be leaked, misused, and that will lead to data privacy and security issue. And we understand clearly in Europe we have a GDPR norms, and if you're not following it and without the consent of the owner of the particular information, if you are knowingly unknowingly sharing that information with the third person, you will be penalized heavily. When I say you, I'm saying your company will be penalized heavily. So we need to be very careful about this thing. And how to one of the what are the ways, different ways to mitigate this particular problem? One way to mitigate this thing is create synthetic data. We have seen that the GenAI generates the synthetic data, so you have to create the synthetic data. You simply ask GenAI to give a particular prompt that this is the data, etc. Create a synthetic data. When you create a synthetic data, it does follow the same distribution, but it's not the exact data. It's not exact personal information you're passing on to the GenAI. So this is the one of the ways by creating the synthetic data, you can mitigate to certain extent the data privacy issue. Okay. Now the ethical concerns we have. The first concern we have, this generative AI might be generating the biased answers for you. So when you're asking generative AI to do something, you have to validate the output because it might be biased. And you're the best person to judge whether this output is a biased or not. So you have to validate it. And when you're asking to create some synthetic data, you have to validate the data because you have given the prompt correctly, it has generated. But to what extent it is correct, you have to validate it. So you have to spend some time to validate the output, to validate the data. If you blindly using it, there might be possibility the data is biased, data created is not exactly following the same distribution. It has some deviation in that. So your output, the model, the machine learning model you will develop will not be that. The next and the most important thing is misuse of AI generated content. And this is something we have seen a lot in our social media, the fake videos, the fake photos, etc. So it's our responsibility to take to not to misuse the AI generated content. We have a good power with us, but how you are using it, that's up to us. Whether we would like to go ethical or non-ethical, it's everyone's discretion. Okay, but being a responsible person in the society, let us try not to misuse the AI generated content. And we have to, because nowadays there are good amount of rules or regulations are building around this using the Gen AI models. And I think in couple of years you will have a very strict guidelines on usage of the generative AI content. So be responsible when we are using the generative AI content. Now, in terms of opportunities, I think most of you are experienced, but on a high level, let me tell you, out of all the jobs, there are some 47% of the jobs belongs to data science. And this statistics I'm telling you that I have extracted, or this survey was conducted last year, approximately July or August, if I'm right. So it's hardly a years back information, not years, at least 8 months old information, 8 to 10 months old information. Now, now if we see the recent uh, information, this would have increased. If not decrease, if not decrease, it will not. Let me reframe. If it is not increase, at least it is not decrease. That I can vouch for. Okay, so this is the potential we have, but in which all segments or in which all industries we have that options. The first is your technology, the second is the finance, and a healthcare. So these are the and the human resource. Sorry, I missed you. And the human resource. So these are the four industries or four parts of the industry where you see a lot of use cases related to data science, machine learning, where people are exploring that area. So from these areas, you get a lot of opportunities. So technology, finance, healthcare, and human resource. Okay, so far clear? Okay. So let us do the conclusion here, and then we will go for a demo. After taking some questions, we will go for a small demo. Okay. So we can conclude if we integrate both GenAI and data science, it open the vast possibilities. So we have seen a couple of examples where it improves your efficiency, it gives you time for thinking out of the box, etc. So it will help us. Second, it encourages experiment with pre-trained APIs or model. Now, suppose you generally do ABC in your data science project, and that's a steps you follow. Now, with this help of GenAI, you can try ACB combination, or let me say AED, some other steps. You can experiment it because you know that now I don't need to spend a couple of hours to do it, but it will take a couple of minutes to do it. So you can try different techniques and methods to solve your problem or to deliver your project. And what if this AED steps might be very optimized compared to ABC and ACD? So it will help you to encourages you to do the experiments, and it helps you to prepare for the future and stay updated. Why stay updated? Now we are hearing a lot of things on this GenAI part, right? And the data science part also. So you are just upskilling yourself to keep yourself updated. And when you are updated, you are more relevant to the industry. You are not obsolete. So these are the couple of things at least we can conclude out of this session. So just wait for some time. I will have a demo, but before that, let me take a couple of questions. So whoever has the questions can unmute themselves, go ahead and ask, or you can put it in the chat window. Okay, so first let me take here. Mohammed had one question: how it will help experienced IT professional to GenAI? What skill it required and what can I implement at time? So what skill is it's required? I have answered. Time it needed. See, the course is for 90 days, but you would require 180 days, 6 months. So first 30 days, you are just training your mind and digesting all the knowledge which I will be providing. And in the 30 days, as you practice it, you will practice it, you will learn it. After 30 days, you have to put more efforts to refine your skills. So you, in a nutshell, 3 to 6 months is the period where you have a refined skill with you. Okay. Can we go with the Genia if we have a limited capabilities in mathematics? Yes, I think this question also I have answered, Mohammed. Yes, we can. In this session, in this course, I will be teaching the probability and statistics, but we will not go and become a master in that, but we will understand the basic concepts and how it is relevant or how we can use it. That we will understand. I don't have any AIML knowledge. Can I learn Gen AI? Yes, because in this course, when I said data science, we start with basic ground zero, where if you don't have Python knowledge also, we'll start from there, gradually build our understanding, gradually learn and probability and statistics, which only and we will learn only those things which is useful for a timing uh, in our career. Then after that, we will go to the machine learning part where we will start machine learning from ground zero. We build it. Then we will go gradually transition to the Gen AI. So that's the entire flow is. So if you have zero knowledge also, you can start it. So we don't have any prerequisite here. If you don't know AI ML, fine. We are covering that. If you don't know the Python, we are covering that. If you don't know the math and statistics, you have a zero knowledge, we are covering that. Okay. So this is for everyone who would like to start their journey with or without the knowledge of AI ML. How GenAI can help improvement ERP based databases as we have Power BI and other visualization tool. Then what is the need of Gen AI? How can we integrate Gen AI with existing application? Yeah, to integrate Gen AI with the existing application, Mohammed. See, we have the APIs available, right? If you are using, say, I'm using the DeepSeek, Gorg, or Gemini for that case, or the ChatGPT, you have the APIs. You will integrate it, and that's the thing we will learn here. Now you have existing tool, okay, and now you will programmatically write a program. So your Gen AI, we will interact with the ChatGPT. That's what we will cover. We interact with the ChatGPT programmatically, get the information, okay, and we will create our output file. The output file might be a code or something else. So we will do that programmatically. Uh, so I think I have answered your question. So we will start with Python. Okay, we'll cover the Python basics. Then we will cover the numbers and NumPy and pandas which we use for data processing. Then we go to the statistics, mathematics, then ML concepts. Then we will go to the Gen AI concepts. And during this journey, in each place you will have a different assignment in s- where you have to do that project to enhance your understanding. And during this journey, first we will start and understand how can I use the generative AI by using its generative AI UI, the OpenAI UI. And gradually from there, we transition to a programming layer where you don't use the UI, but you program and start consuming the APIs. Through APIs, you will do the interaction. So in that way, you're automating the interaction with ChatGPT. I have been speaking since an hour. The next question you might have that he spoke a lot, but what are his credentials? Okay, so let me introduce now. My name is Vishwa Vivek, prefer to be called as a Vivek. I am acting as a principal data scientist currently in my current organization. I have 16 plus years of experience, and my experience span in a Fortune 100 companies, and I worked with a startup also. Why I'm telling this thing? Because the Fortune 100 companies has a different requirement or a different expectations from the resource, and the startup has a different expectations. Startup says our resource should be able to do a number of things, but Fortune 100 companies, everything is decentralized. So both have the different requirements. So I know what startup requires, what Fortune 100 company require from their resources. So I have that knowledge which I can help you to train you people and give you that understanding that in which area we have to improve so we are fit for a Fortune 100 plus a startup also. That's about me. So this is a small tool I have made it. Okay. And here I will just give you a flavor that how you can integrate the GenAI in your data science activities. Okay. So here we have upload option where I will upload. So here I am uploading my data. Suppose you have a data, you are uploading it. Now, when I click this button, in the backend, it's calling the ChatGPT API. Okay. I have a pre-built prompt in my code to generate the insights. And when I click it, now see it is hitting the API and it's generating the insights. So now see, now it's been nearly 4 seconds, five. So see, approximately 10 seconds, if let us say in 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, it has generated me the insights. And for the same insights, you might take half an hour, 1 hour, okay? Or if you are very expert, at least you might take 20 minutes to generate the insights. So it has generated me the insights. And now with this, I can ask a different questions and ask to generate some data for me, some code for me here. So now I've based on these insights, let me say I need this kind of a plot, this kind of data. I'm asking the GenAI. In this case, I'm using a ChatGPT. Now mismatched monthly passenger rather than the okay. I've choose the wrong column. Okay, let me do passengers. So see here, my data had a month and a date, only sorry, month and a passenger, only two columns. But here I have passed a wrong prompt. And what did it answer? Your data seems to be mismatched as it contains monthly passenger rather than information about a wheel and carcass. So my prompt was wrong. It is correcting me, right? So it is making sure that you are passing the proper prompt. So I'm saying passengers. So here I'm asking to generate a data. So now asking to generate a code. Now it has generated me the code. So here I can use this code directly. So here you can do it this programmatically. So here I am just giving you an output where I'm doing a copy paste the code, but programmatically you can directly take the input. Okay, take this code programmatically from in the backend itself, and you create a new file, and then execute it. So you don't even have to do a copy paste from here. Just for the demo purpose, I'm showing it to you. I'm showing the output. Okay. So this is one small a demo where I'm sharing the capability or giving you a taste of generative AI with data science. So that was a small demo, and to create all the components on the screen, it took me. I'm not a UI person. I don't know how to do UI. It took me 45 minutes or 50 minutes max, and I have asked GenAI to do it for me. So it helped me to create the entire interface, and because of which it took only 45 to 50 minutes for me. Because I'm not good at UI part, I have to do the UI setup, those things which took time. But ideally, interaction time and doing that time was very less. So total time taken was 50 minutes for a person who does not know how to create UI. That much potential a GenAI has. Clear? Thank you all. Bye bye. Have a great day ahead.